You gave some hints in your book on Jung and his myth in our time of work that needs to be done in the future, especially in relation to projection. And you mention reflection.
Yes. As the counter mechanism, so to speak. I mean, projection and reflection are a pair of opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Because projection, as the word says, throws behind your back your own psychic images and contents into the outer world. We live all the time in projections. We live in a world of projection. And reflection is the act by taking that back into yourself. But you can't do that by your own willpower. I mean, you have to be helped by the self.
Mm-hmm. So both of these activities of the psyche are below the ego or beyond the ego. It's not
they are
a
beyond. Oh yes, they are beyond the ego, but the ego can cooperate with them or persevere in wrong. For instance, Jung defines in a narrower sense projection that we can only speak of a projection, though it's constant projection. What I think about you is a projection. What I think about all these people is a projection. I don't know you well enough to really know you. I have an image and I have a judgment, an intuitive judgment, but it's probably a lot of my own psyche in it. And but that you cannot call projection. Jung says in a strict sense, you can only begin to call it projection when it's disturbing, when there is a disturbance. When I, for instance, constantly quarrel with you or constantly misunderstand you, and it becomes a kind of difficulty between you and me, then one can speak of a projection. And that is also the symptom which shows now the moment is to take it back, to reflect. The disturbance is the symptom which wants you to reflect. And to say, now, why am I so emotional, or why do I have these negative feelings each time I meet that person, or so on.
And that is the beginning of reflection?
And that's the beginning of reflection, but it's only achieved when you really see in yourself that quality which irritates you or which you admire in the other. It doesn't help to say, oh, mea culpa, I have a shadow like so-and-so, I have an animus like so-and-so. That doesn't help at all. I must really see it, and that means I must catch it in flagranti. I must do something and say, my God, now I'm acting like so-and-so. Then I have it. Then I know where it is in me and how it's functioning in me. And then I know what kind of a voice I have and what kind of a body feeling I have when I live that complex. And then I can keep it inside and not put it onto other people anymore.
In the process of having a fantasy about someone, is it possible that that the fantasy is helping you to see?
Yes, you see, you never know. It might be an intuition which really fits the other person. I might have an intuition about you, and it's really how you are. Or it might not fit. That's why only when there's a disturbance you can be sure it's a projection. Except if you want to take on Hindu philosophy and say finally everything is a projection. And that looks like it in that way, that if you remember Jung in the memories, seeing that yogi meditating him. So in a way the self projects our whole life. Our whole life and fate is a projection of the self. And when the self takes it back, we are out.